Ladies and gentlemen, it is your man out of Japan, Jay Contra, and as you can see, we still have 2 boxes from Surugaya free shipping weekends left to unpack. If you're just joining us, Surugaya is one of the biggest retailers of Japanese retro video games. For the last 4 or 5 months, they've had free shipping weekends pretty much every other weekend. And you can save a lot of money if you go the route of buying Surugaya games because it's basically like buying them at the store in Japan. So I'm going to move these boxes aside and we're going to start cracking. All right, so I'm going to open this first box here and I'll remove any personal information and then I will show you how they're packed. We're going to look at the condition and we'll also evaluate whether or not it was a good deal or not. So we went to almost all new games this time with a bunch of Switch titles. We do have 1 Game Boy Advance game, but you can see here they're packed in this standard box. So I've now opened, I think, like 6 boxes on this channel, and they seem to be the same Surugaya box for each one, and they all come packed in this plastic wrap that has been attached to this piece of cardboard that is then hot glued to the bottom of the box. So I think as long as you're buying just games, you're going to be okay. It's when you're buying large boxes, say like toys or consoles, that I don't know if they've got bigger boxes or anything, that you might run into problems. But having now opened so many of these boxes, I have not really had a problem with anything being damaged during shipping. Okay, so the first game, let's start out with not the oldest, but one of the older ones. We have here Golden Sun, The Lost Age. That looks like, oh, did I buy? I might have bought one. I can't, oh no, I thought that was... That's a cloud. Okay, I'm going to show you what I was kind of worried about, is because what happens with these older game boxes, these sort of cardboard ones with the nice printing on them, what will happen is the edges, you can kind of see the fraying here if it will come into focus. That can often happen on the edges along here. The corners, it's sort of just inevitable that even once you start actually doing anything with these boxes, the corners are going to start to give. That's not a big problem. But I thought there might have been an issue here, but no, you can look at it, that's just a cloud. So okay, box actually looks exceptionally good. These Game Boy Advance games usually come in pretty good condition, but you just got to be extra careful with them. Will we get it? Yes, we get the plastic bag. Oh, and look at that beautiful gold, almost sort of Wind Waker-ish. Make sure it's the right game. Yeah, no. Yeah, so Lost Age, there we go. So make sure when you're getting a game, it's got the original plastic bag with it. Merchants like Mandarake will often put their loose cartridges and or like their manuals in new plastic bags, but those tend to be a little bit harder, a little bit tougher. Oh, and we got the cool map here. Oh, that's awesome. We got all of the inserts. This is wonderful. Great condition. Very glad I was able to get this copy. I love Golden Sun. I think highly underrated Nintendo RPG that I wish they would make another one for a modern system. Although I haven't played the DS version yet. So next up, actually, yeah, let's go. We've got here Tactics, Ogre, Reborn. Very excited to play this. Can't believe it's like 60 hours. Probably actually would have been better. A bunch of these Switch games were like on sale in America, so I probably would have been better off getting the American copies because they would have been cheaper. But then again, I also get, yeah, I at least get the katakana on the box. There we go. Fire Emblem Engage. Very excited to play this because I have not played the most recent Fire Emblem game, and I'm a huge Fire Emblem fan. Very hyped to play this. Look at that beautiful inner sleeve. There we go. So that's cool. We've got Skyward S-Word here. Probably, I would say, the most notorious Zelda game at this point, considering that there's been a kind of big, I don't know if there's ever going to be a reappraisal of this game, but I think definitely of the 3D Zeldas, definitely the worst reviewed, but I'm at least going to give it a shot. Yeah, let's save the best for last. I do want to go quickly through these Switch games real quick. We've got Triangle Strategy, what I just assume is Square Enix's attempt to do Fire Emblem, and we'll see if it matches up. But I'm pretty excited because as you can see, I've been very, very feeling the itch to play strategy games, and especially if they're Japanese strategy games. And then we also have what has really kept its value, but we've got Link's Awakening, the remake for the Nintendo Switch. Seems to be part of Nintendo's weird desire to remake a bunch of old games. Before we get those games, let's talk about the games that I am most excited about in this order. Let's talk about complete Famicom Disk System games. Let's actually, these came out the same year. I think, all right, let's do, since technically I think Castlevania came out first, let's look at this. So I mentioned this in my previous video, but when you're looking at complete Famicom Disk System games, you want to make sure that you're getting this outer plastic case, which is made of this very tough plastic. And then inside, you'll find these beautiful manuals, these nice, small and thick manuals that have really held up. And what's also cool about these manuals, no staples. So in terms of long-term preservation of these manuals, it's very interesting. It's got a it's got a barcode on the back. That's really interesting. I've not seen that on other manuals. Whoa, and we've even got, oh, is this a sticker set? Oh my God. Okay, hold on. Wait. So I wonder, would this have been the one that came like from the not, you wouldn't have bought this retail. Hold on, let's see. I want to look at the disc here, but we've got the cool, I love these discs. Oh, it's already got, this is very interesting because you can see here, it's already got the stickers on it. Because what would happen if you're not familiar with the Famicom disc is oftentimes you would buy like a blank disc, or you would take a game, say like Zelda when the system first came out. You're like, Zelda, who cares about this game? It's 1986. We're going to get tons more of these. So what you do is you take the game you already have, you take it down to the convenience store. They've got this giant machine there that you put the disc into, and it'll write a completely new game to the disc, to both of these, both sides. Or sometimes it would just be one side, and so you could have two games on one disc. And I believe you could, I guess it was sold separately, but you would often get this set of stickers to put on your new game. And I wonder if this was Frankenstein together, or if this is just how it came. This is interesting. I've never seen this before, because the only other complete Famicom Disk System game that I've opened so far is that copy of Simon's Quest from the last video. So let's take a look. Let's see what happens when we open this copy of Metroid. See there? Oh, and there's, okay, this is really interesting because this has this, so this would have been purchased in a store complete like this. And I can tell you that from this sticker here. And that's something that I've always kind of worried about whenever you're looking at new copies of disk system games, is how are you supposed to know that it's new? It's because once you open this, you can see that void. I don't think that's obviously, I don't think going to be present when it's a fresh new game. You see that the void cut out there. I think that's activated as you pull the sticker back for the first time. That void then becomes visible. So let's open this up and see what's inside. That's interesting. You can kind of see some browning of the edges of the paper there. That's not the worst thing. That's, you know, the thing is with all these paper objects, it's going to happen inevitably. Given the nature of the material. But, oh, I've never seen this before. That's really cool. Nice little hagaki there. Then we've got the manual here. Oh, I love these tiny manuals. These are so cool. And you got the great Metroid illustrations in there. Oh, my God. And then, oh, look at little Samus. Look at little baby Samus. Oh, my goodness. This is so cool. And then oh, God, that Metroid font. Oh my God. Oh, this is so cool. I really can't wait to play this because I've not played the original Metroid yet. Yeah, when we got both sides there. That's fantastic. So glad I have this in my collection now. There's actually, I used to hate Famicom Disk System games for a while because I found it very annoying to have to keep constantly like switch out the discs and switch the sides. But man, did this system alone, when you're talking Castlevania and Metroid, really just launched two of the best franchises of all time. So instead of rambling on, I'm going to switch over to the next box. This is probably the most games at once that I've ever purchased from Surugaya. You can see here that they somehow managed to fit it all into one box, although it is a very tall boy. So let's just do this top to bottom. I will say the one little complaint that I have here is when you look at it, I do have some I do have a couple of Game Boy Advance games in here where every other game comes in sort of a clamshell or a plastic case. These things are just cardboard. So it's not the biggest deal because you do have the base of support here in terms of packaging from the 3DS games. But I don't like the fact that, you know, say something ever happens where maybe a box gets dropped on this, these plastic games are going to easily crush these Game Boy Advance games. So I'm going to deduct a little bit from my review of their packaging, but it's not the biggest issue right now. So we're just going to go from top to bottom. We've got Wind Waker HD. I've been really feeling like playing my Wii U recently, and so I'm glad to have this. It's really interesting that this used to be like a $120 game for a while, but recently dropped in price. So I'm glad I paid less for this, even though it is a pretty amazing game. We have here for the Wii Muramasa, which is actually it's relatively expensive for a Wii game for the American version. However, the Japanese version's like $10, less than $10. And I've already played my English copy a little bit. And man, this is a really cool game. And also what's really cool about it is you can use a GameCube controller with it. That's the mark of a quality game, in my opinion, when you're looking at games for the Wii. So not only did I get Skyward Sword for the Switch, I also got it for the Wii. Let's make sure it has it's got like a Symphonic Suite CD with it. Yeah, soundtrack special for the 25th anniversary. There's the game itself, as well as the manual. Oh, and all of the inserts. And it's also got the Symphony insert in it too. That's cool. All right, moving on. We got a couple more there. Resoft? What does that mean? That's a weird sticker. I've never seen that before. That's probably from like a previous shop that this had been traded into before Surugaya. Oh wow, this is okay. So looking at the wear here, you've got fingerprints, you've got scratches on it. Now that's not bad. I'm not disappointed with this game, but this is the worst condition of a CD of a Japanese game that I've seen in a very long time. And that tells you how good condition these things are. Wait, is that? Oh, okay. Oh no. I thought I saw a break in the disc there. But looking at the condition of that disc compared to American games, and this is like, look, they've got billions of these games out there in Japan. The fact is, that's really impressive. That's like the worst that I've ever seen. Oh, I did. Oh, right. Okay, yes. So I've mentioned this before, but you can buy manuals, just manuals all on their own for, most games that you can find on Surugaya, you can also find just the manual for it. And this is really helpful because I have Soul Calibur 2 for the GameCube, but for some reason or another, didn't come with the manual. So I think this ended up costing me like less than $5. So very excited to have that. Actually, condition's pretty good. Not bad, not bad. And it's also kind of annoying. I'm not going to open it up because of how annoyingly, look at that. So many, it's really overtaped, but not bad, not bad. Then we've got Little King Story for the Wii. I'm really hoping to finish up my Wii collection. Don't really think there's many other games that I'm going to want for it. Oh, okay. All right, I take it back. Wow, that's not great. I don't see anything that I think is going to be like a game-ending bug, but has that been resurfaced? Wow. Okay, I gotta say, that's not great. This is the new one. This is the new Little King Story. This is the worst condition of a Japanese game that I think I've ever seen in terms of the disc. But they tested it and it's playable. But what I found is the thing with disc-based games is, for example, I've got a copy of The World Is Not Enough for the PlayStation. Put it in, worked perfectly fine for the first 3 levels. Got to the 4th level, game wouldn't even load. So when you're getting disc games, and I don't see nothing here is substantial. I don't know if anything here is going to be game ending or going to prevent me from playing the whole game, but man, yeah, that's not great. I'm kind of disappointed in that. And we've been doing so well so far, especially for all of the orders that I've done with them. But let's go for Game Boy Advance real quick. So here we've got Tactics Ogre, the Knights of Lotus. Said it before, say it again, really in the mood for some tactics games. This box is in pretty good condition. I wonder, we've got a pretty good hit rate for getting everything, all of the inserts, as well as the plastic bag. There it is. We love to see it, don't we, folks? And we've also, I think we might just have the manual, but we've also got one little insert here just telling you how to clean. Wow, I wonder if is that an official Nintendo cleaning little stick there that you put like some rubbing alcohol on it and you can clean out your Game Boy cartridges. See what you've got here. No, yes, it is the DMG-08 official Nintendo branded cleaning stick. Or you can just use a Q-tip. Man, I really want to find one of those cleaning sticks now. Oh my God. And then finishing out my collection of Game Boy Advance Pokemon games. This is the last one that I needed to get for that generation. But I finally now have Leaf Green. And oh boy, did this thing get real expensive. Not only are Game Boy Advance games getting expensive, and they have been expensive for a very long time, but this was really hard to find at a good price. But look at how sparkly the box is. And then this also is the one that comes with the wireless adapter. And that was something that blew my mind. I did not know that these games could connect wirelessly via the Game Boy Advance. But you see here the wireless adapter. Even got all the original plastic bags. And it looks like all of the inserts. So once again, very lucky on the condition of this game. Because Pokemon games, you know, having been owned by children for the most part, did not manage to survive it. This is, you know, almost a mint copy. This is great. This is a Mandarake B as far as I'm concerned. Putting that aside, let's look at the Game Boy, the DS games. Look, I still call, I call the DS the Game Boy. Come on, whatever. Like I'm a younger millennial, but I'm basically a boomer at this point because I want to call these all 3D Game Boy games. There we got Mario Kart 7. I freaking love Mario Kart. Ready to sink my teeth into that. Also, big fan of Star Fox. Really wish we'd get another one, but unfortunately, I think the series was probably killed by Star Fox Zero, even though I actually thought Star Fox Zero was pretty good. Look at this. This is something, I like these little touches. I miss those. But we still have them. We still have them with the Switch games, I think. Because look at this. What's the inside? Look at that. Yeah. See? Nintendo still got it. They still have it. Yep. Okay, putting that aside, let's look at Luigi Mansion 2 real quick. Little insert there, and then we've got, oh yeah, that beautiful box art, looking good. One thing I've noticed with these Surugaya games, especially for the 3DS, anything with this small clamshell, is they'll sometimes have like impact marks, like it's like you can kind of, small one here, definitely been noticeable on other games, and then kind of look at the paper insert for the title there is not in the best shape. Not the worst thing in the world, especially for a cheap game like Mario Kart 7. And speaking of Golden Sun, here we go. The Golden Sun that came out for the DS. I actually have this in English laying around somewhere. Just looking at it here. And the DS was the last era of good portable manuals. And I love the paper quality that they use for the manuals. This is nice, kind of non-glossy, really flat paper that I think really brings out, especially when you're talking about Golden Sun, the kind of game that it is, and its story, I think, really matches. Really good cartridge label there. Here's the second Final Fantasy Tactics Advance game that came out for the DS of all systems. And we got, this one, we got the kind of glossy manual here. Really like that the more rougher. There we go. Oh, look, and see, kind of got a bunch of, I wonder if Mandarake would deduct for the scratches here. Not that I mind them, because God forbid someone actually play their video games. But then last DS game is Super Princess Peach. The precursor to isn't there a Princess Peach game coming out for the Switch sometime soon? But yes, we get that. We love that beautiful flat manual there. And looking at the cartridge. A great label. Box is kind of weird that the box, a little roughed up. You can kind of see a bunch of scuff marks. Not only really noticeable underneath the light there. And then the final, we've got the original Biohazard, the original Resident Evil. Because for some reason, I never picked it up in Japan. This is the last Resident Evil game that I need to have to complete my collection. But yeah, all right, let's take a look at this disc, and we'll compare it to Little King's Story. Yeah, look at that. Barely, I mean, I don't even think there's an actual scratch on there. I think you can kind of see like some, I don't know what to call them. They're not quite moisture marks. Definitely don't think it's disc rot at this point, but like not even a scratch. Not even a scratch. I'm just going to shine the light there. Compare that to Little King's Story, which is 10 years younger, I think, in terms of its production. And you can see the big difference that you'll find in terms of the condition of games when you're purchasing from Surugaya. So that's the end of the video, folks. I hope this has been informative to you. I have no real issues. I've ordered, I think, probably 7 or 8 times from Surugaya at this point, and their international shipping, especially when it's free, is very competitive as opposed to buying games off of eBay. I'm very satisfied with all of the games that I've picked up. And if you're looking to, if you can't make it to Japan, I think the next best thing you can do is purchase games through Surugaya. And I'll be buying some more, not anytime soon, but eventually. Okay, there's some label fade there. Yeah, you can kind of see the purple's perhaps not as strong as it once was. And what happens, all right, so let me end the video talking about label fade, which I'm sure is the most exciting thing that you've seen on YouTube so far. But what happens is these games sit on shelves underneath fluorescent light, sometimes for years. And that fluorescent light will bake the ink on the side of the game. Actually, let me go step over and get a game to compare real quick. What a coincidence. I found my copy of Biohazard 3, Last Escape, and you can see the big difference here. You can see the nice vibrant purple on the left and the faded purple on the right. That's just what's going to happen because a lot of these games are sitting around being unloved underneath fluorescent lights, and it's killing these games. So I hope you're going to go out there and you're going to look for some copies of Resident Evil and save these games from the fluorescent lights. I've been your man out of Japan, Jay Contra. Thanks for watching. See you next time, and mahalo.